and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to all the contributions from my amazing Optibotimus Plus channel members, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Kingdom Titan class Autobot Ark. This is one that I personally was really excited about, even though I feel like a lot of people really aren't. Mostly because historically, the Ark never transformed. It wasn't until more recent incarnations of the Ark that he actually did, and this is the first time that we've ever gotten a transforming figure of him. For the package, very similar to all those Titan class figures. Really large box, but with absolutely gorgeous art here on the front. You can see you have the Ark crashed into the volcano right there, then an image of him in his robot mode holding Megatron. Really very cool. Of course, you got the Transformers text with the Generation logo up there. Top section here has real cool art as well with the Nemesis battling Air Razor with Starscream flying out. That would be cool if we could get the Nemesis as a figure. Again, it never really transformed before, but hell, neither did the Ark, so hey, why not? The bottom section here doesn't really have anything. Sides, of course, you have that really cool art from Transformers Kingdom on that side. What's on this side? You just got a continuation of that image there. Really large box, like I said, spinning around to the back of the package. And again, some really fun things going on here. Like I said, you can see transforms from the Ark to the robot mode. And then, in my opinion, in a stroke of genius, they took the character Mainframe and decided to make him transform into actually Teletran 1. That's really kind of cool. And then continuing on with that trend with larger size figures, the Ark here does include a very tiny, and I'm talking, I mean, that's like way too big. I'm talking like the thing is like that big, but a small, mostly molded version of Optimus Prime that you can see. You can have it like kind of go up and down the ramp if you wanted to. You know, there's a couple different things that you can do with it. You can have them sit in the bridge area of what would be the bridge of the Ark, which is fun. So you almost have like two modes for it. You have like the bridge section, and then that transforms into the Teletran 1 that we know, which then can transform into Mainframe. It's really fun. And then as the Golden Disc was a very prominent subject matter in the Transformers Kingdom series, you get a couple of the Golden Discs. Why you get two, I don't really know, but they give you two of them. And then, of course, you get the Sky Spy, which we know from the very first episode of Transformers. That's what kind of went around scanning things and gave the Transformers their Earth modes. So that's fun. So there you go. There's the really, and apparently you have to be 15 or older to enjoy this figure. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, and here we have the Ark opened up out of its packaging and obviously in his vehicle mode. And I really like how this turned out. There are a couple aspects of it that I wish were done better, but in general, I'm happy with the overall execution of this. As you can see, modeled very nicely after the Ark from the original series, it is a very large figure. I decided to do it here at my regular review area because it's not as big spread out as other Titan class figures. But he is still a rather large and imposing figure. I mean, here is Wheeljack, as you can see. So, yeah, the scale's not right. And a lot of people like complaining that the scale on this guy is way off. Well, if you look at Metroplex or Trypticon or any of the actual Titan class figures, the scale is completely off. Transformers are not known for their accuracy to scale, but he still has a really good large presence. Color-wise, looks decent. You got this yellowish orange for the majority of the body. A lot of it is actually molded in that color, but then you do have some elements of yellow that are painted on. You can see that this front section here, though, is molded in a different yellow, which I don't know if you can see that on camera, but that does kind of stick out. Not the biggest fan of that. You got a lot of really nice molded in detail throughout the entire thing. You got guns situated throughout the entire bit. Unfortunately, they are not articulated. That would have been nice if you could actually put some swivels in there, but, you know, it is what it is. And then I do like how they got this almost burnt up sort of element. It's a slightly different color, and maybe it looks a little bit too clean and even, but it almost looks like the scorch marks that a ship would have coming down into an atmosphere. That looks cool. See, you have a yellow translucent window, which I don't know, you're not going to be able to, well, you might be able to see. You can kind of see inside there the actual bridge, which we'll get to here in a bit. So I do like how that actually is kind of a functional sort of thing. Got some blue elements all the way around. Obviously, you got the Autobot logos down here. Got this really nice spire bit coming up, which that looks cool. Come around here to the back, you can see you got thrusters with some nice blue paint on the inside there. Of course, you got the little black dark elements around it, which look very, very nice. Overall, it is a good looking ship, but there are problems, like I said. The biggest one that I have is this big open gap. Now, both sides have it, and I really wish that they designed something that could fill that gap in. That just really is kind of ugly, honestly. They do something very cool with the arms that you'll see when I transform it that I feel like they could have used here, but for whatever reason they decided not to. I mean, you're already paying like $160, $170 for this, so, I mean, why couldn't you have done something like that? But that is pretty ugly, if you ask me. The other thing that I have a problem with is the connection bit here. This part is supposed to go all the way down and lock in. You can kind of get it, and then it pops right back out. So you have this big gap kind of thing going down here, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I wish it did connect to solidly connect the bottom section with the top. If you do get it connected, the problem with that then is that these connecting bits here and here end up dislodging. So there's no real way you can do it. You can like connect it there, but this section on this side is not going to stay connected, which does kind of stink. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, so I'm not knocking off a lot, because I feel like that is designed to connect. It just doesn't function as well as it should. And as you can, like, you push that, oh, that moves. So you push that down, and I guarantee you one of these decided to do, oh no, actually, oh, I didn't push it down hard enough. But if you push it, I mean, you can kind of see that that's loose right there. So it just kind of stinks. Come around on the bottom, you do have some landing struts and things like that. Again, nice detail. Also put in the bottom of this, you got the cannons and everything. You can come around here. And the other thing that's nice is, well, this also doesn't really stay together. You can take this piece here, push that up, and connect that. You do have a little bridge or exit thing. I mean, that's kind of cool that they put that in there. I mean, I dig that. It really is a nice added touch. And then you put that up there. I mean, if you want to just set it right there, and then again, just pull that. You can't really see it, but I mean, hey, that's a nice little bit. Oh, and see, like you lift this, and it just, everything just kind of like dislodges here. You kind of have to hold it by here. If you try picking it up there, that's just going to pull everything apart, which kind of stinks. Like I said, you do have the landing struts. So you can have it sit, as I was showing here at the beginning, like this. Or if you wanted to, you can display it like that. It does stay very nicely. And honestly, that might be the way that I choose to display it, just because it kind of takes up less space. I suppose it doesn't spread out more. And that just kind of looks like it's getting ready to launch, which I think is neat. Now, he does come with a few accessories. So coming up here to kind of illustrate that, because most of them are actually stored inside this guy. Now, before we get into the accessories that are internal to this guy, I should mention that he does come with some blast effects. They're nothing different, really, than what we've gotten before. They're just done in this kind of aqua-ish sort of color. It looks really cool. But again, we've seen it before. I wish we would get more of these, because you got like one set here, you have another set here, and he's got a total of 4 thrusters down there. So, meh, you know. Now, for the other accessories, like I said, they are inside him right now. So first, what you want to do is come around here to the backside. You got little tabs right here. You want to just kind of push this whole section forward, and that kind of loosens it, and then just kind of angle it out like that. So again, push this down, and then pull that out. You can come around here to the front again, and then this whole section here will lift and just fold back. And there you're gonna see his head. But now you can also take this entire section here, because you've loosened up these tabs, and you can flip this all the way up just like so. And here is mainframe, basically. As you can see, it transforms into the bridge of the Ark, which is really cool. I like how they did this. You know, coming in to take a closer look, great detail throughout the entire thing. And one of the other accessories that you see is you get, like I said, that little teeny tiny Optimus Prime, which is very teeny tiny, as you can see. Let's bring in Skeletor's head. I mean, there's a big size difference there. But it's Optimus, so that's cool. And then looking at the bridge area, you can see that there are several different ports right there where you can put other Autobots. Now, we got some other ones. We have, like, I think Ultra Magnus we got before. We also got Rodimus as well as the Galvatron, but those came with Unicron. So, I don't know if you would really want to use that, but, you know, it is what it is. But I love that. Like you could see, you got that little window section, and it looks in, and you can see the actual cockpit area. Some other cool bits that are on here, again, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, but on the side here, you actually have a little Teletran 1. That's really cool because he will transform into that. There's some other really cool little hidden bits on here. This can actually remove. This is the navigational chart. I don't know why you would want to remove it, but you could. So for his accessories, that's about it, really, with him. He comes with what a lot of times would have been just a headmaster sort of thing. You don't need that with him, but you got this, which I think is cool. So putting him down and getting this guy out of the way, and as you can see, you can have this section right here, and when you transform him into robot mode, you can actually leave this in there. That whole section does come down, and it will still perfectly tab in and line up and everything if you wanted to leave that on there. So you don't really have to leave it in there when you're transforming, but you can remove it. I'm going to take him off to the side for right now. Blast off! Yay! And then come down to take a look at this guy. So in this mode, literally, you just have basically the back section for him. Now, he can also become Teletran 1, which also is pretty darn cool. But let's go to his robot. Well, let's go to Teletran 1, I guess, first. So you can bring these down and kind of leave that there. Now, this is more than likely going to make the other accessories fall out. See, and he comes with the golden discs. Now, there are 2 of these. One of the discs is meant to set in there. This one is meant to replicate the golden disc that the spacecraft Voyager sent out to space. You can see it's a very similar design all the way around. All those really cool sculpted in actual bits. The other side, it does literally just look like a record. The other one is the Vox disc that was discovered by the Vox race in Beast Wars. So I was like, why does it come with 2 of them? Because they're 2 totally different ones, which is very cool. I love the fact that we have those little bits. And then come around to the figure. So again, we're going to fold that out, fold that out, and you have kind of like the front of him right there. These arm pieces we're going to bend up and then rotate these around, and you want to angle these as such. Keep that there in a way. No, let's see. No, there we go. You want to rotate it around where you can kind of bend the shoulder back, and that's going to come back to the back section, and then we'll tab in on the underside. It's tricky to kind of do. There we go. But when you're done, there you will have that top section, and it's a little bit easier. Let's just kind of rotate that around. So again, separate this, and you're seeing one of the other accessories right there. I won't spoil too much for you. So you want to rotate that around, so that's going to be able to bend inward. Tab that there. Get that in on the side, and get that tabbed in right on that side. There we go. So now you have that just like that. So now you're seeing what's happening. You're creating Teletran 1. These legs we're going to split, and this whole section here is going to open up, and this is going to swivel all the way around like that. And that part here is going to come up towards that side. So bring that around
and let's see, you're going to hinge that up like so. Take this, you're going to rotate that around so that the gray bit is there. Don't connect this just yet because you need to get all this tabbed in first. So again, pull this piece out. No, I knocked down Optimus Prime. Rotate that around, and then a bend here at the knee. Rotate that. So now you can connect these two halves like so, and bring this, get that down, bring these up, and that'll lock into place right there. Then come around here to the back side, keep that straight, and then fold this piece up. That's going to slot in here and there. Same thing on this side. Just kind of slot that there and there. Collapse all that. And there you have Teletran 1. And I think that this is really cool. I love the fact that they actually gave Mainframe a... Oh, I don't have that done up right. Gave Mainframe a actual mode. Because in the original series, well, he was never really in the original series, but the figure and character came from the Action Master sort of thing. So he didn't transform at all. So it's cool that they actually gave him an alt mode. I think that that's really neat. And the sizing here works pretty good. So setting him there, bringing in some of these other figures. Here we have Wheeljack, obviously. Here's Bumblebee, just to bring in a variety of different figures so you can see the size. And here it's, of course, the leader, Optimus Prime. I think that the scale here for Teletran works pretty decently, honestly. It might be a little bit smaller for Optimus because he's definitely going to have to hunch over. But I think that, like I said, the scaling is solid. I do like it. This Optimus is a lot bigger than that Optimus. Like I said, I also really love these golden discs. But the other accessory that he has, come around here in the back, you might have seen it, is the little Sky Spy. That can actually detach from there. Now this, I think, kind of stinks. On the package, you could, or in some promo art, so here it is, it kind of just folds down. You got a silver painted section, the little antenna there, the little bit right there. It shows it sitting up here. The problem, though, is this section here is sloped, so you can't really sit it there all that well. It's going to want to move. So there's no real place where you can put this. I would have loved it if you could have stuck it there or something. You got some holes there, but then otherwise you're just, well, that doesn't even do anything. So I mean, that really kind of stinks that you can't actually display that. I mean, yeah, there's not a real good spot for him. I guess that's not terrible. Like that, you can do that, I suppose. I just, like I said, I wish there was a more sturdy sort of display for that there. I mean, it's not terrible, but, you know, it is what it is. But great detail on here with the printed on diagram of the Ark there. You have the, what's that? That's not Unicron. I'm trying to see. Maybe that's just, oh, that's Vector Sigma. And then there's the key right there, which that's kind of cool. And you got that. The other thing that's really, well, you got the map of the world right there. There's the Matrix of Leadership. The other thing that's really cool, and I never really noticed it, but when you come around here to the back, right there is sculpted with the actual key to Vector Sigma. Hopefully you can see that. You have another one on the other side. So I like the fact that they kind of hid some of those little details. That's really neat. I can appreciate that. But I do like this. Honestly, this might be how I display him, just because I think it's cool to have an official Teletran 1. Now, for his transformation to his robot mode, going into that mainframe robot mode, we're going to tuck those pieces down. Again, separate that. Tuck that piece down. You can then pull these pieces out and extend that down like that. Spread these legs, and then all this is going to according around his leg. So like that. And then you want to spin the tire, or not the tire, the foot around. That's going to push in, and there we go. Do that on this side as well. So let's rotate that. This hinges in like that. It's going to sit there, and this collapses in. You'll see here it pop into place just like that. Go ahead and detach the arms. from the top section. Then take these bits and you're going to fold these in. First you're going to fold in that piece right there. And like I said, I don't like how these, I mean, that just kind of falls out. It doesn't really stay in there. I mean, it's very loosely frictioned. And when you put two of them on there, it just, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that. But closing that keeps it into place perfectly fine. Going to separate this and then take this whole section here, fold this forward, rotate out his head. Then take this bit here. This is going to collapse all the way down and in. Rotate his torso first, then collapse that all the way down. That will line up perfectly, and then you can take this head, rotate that, stick that down, and actually, I should have done that. You got a little lip right here, so make sure that that goes underneath, just like so. There we go. Then rotate these around, so when these are going to be in the proper configuration, lift this up, fold out his fist, bring that back down. There's one arm. Is that on this side? You can just pull that out there. It makes it easier. There we go. And there you have mainframe. And while the colors are not accurate to how the original mainframe looked, again, it's cool that they were able to figure out a way to incorporate mainframe, like I said, because he didn't have a robot mode before, but now he does, and he's a pretty good size. You can see that this guy he's technically a leader class figure, but roughly a Voyager class in terms of the size. And then these guys are both deluxes. Technically, he's more like a legend-ish, no, not even legend, but just a small deluxe. But I think that the scale here again works really very good in general. You could have put this back as well, or maybe you just hold it so he has a weapon. The problem that I do have, a head sculpt is really cool. Gorgeous light piping there. I mean, that is really very impressive. But you do just have a swivel. You have a swivel here, you have a hinge here. The problem, though, is these bits right here come into contact with this. So you kind of have to keep it straight to have it fit up where that gap is. So, I mean, or you could go like that. It just, this and this just constantly are getting in the way. So I'm not a big fan of that overall design. It still is a functionally articulated figure, but there's a lot of junk that kind of gets in the way of them. The hands here are stationary. Those don't do anything, but great detail. It definitely has that chest look. Have a little bit of an Autobot logo in white right there. And then again, the legs, they're decently articulated, but you have this whole back section here, which does kind of restrict the motion going back. But overall, articulation-wise is solid on them. You have the hinges, you have swivels there. You do have hinged feet. I mean, that completely comes unhinged, as you can see. So overall, good look. Form. As I said, I never really had the mainframe figure. I don't know anything about him. I'm pretty sure he was in the comics or something like that. So I don't really know much about him as a character. So I don't really care much about him, which is why for me, I think that him being or transforming into Teletran 1 is going to be my preferred look on this guy. But setting him kind of off to the side, let's bring this beast back in, because now we're going to transform this guy. And obviously, the first thing that you're going to want to do if you want to have this guy separated would be to do what you already did. That would be lift this section up and all that stuff, then you would take him out. Now, if you didn't want to, as I mentioned, you can leave a mainframe inside of the Ark, and I'll show that when I transform him back. It's your personal preference, really. But now we have them like this, and this is really easy. From this point, we're going to take these arms, we're going to bring these up like so. You can then rotate this out to the side, that'll lock into place, and then rotate them around so that the Autobot logo is facing forward. So again, lift that up. I guess you could rotate that there if you really wanted to, and then rotate that out, locking that into place like so. Then from here, we're going to come to this undersection here, and this is what I was talking about. When you bring these hands out, you'll see this whole section here folds out, covering this open gap, which that's really nice. I love that, and I wish that they did that with the leg. Then we're just going to extend all of that, bring that down, position that like so, do that on this side as well. I guess I could have brought that piece down, but hey, I'm making things difficult. So we're going to extend that all the way out, bring that down, position everything just like that. We're going to take this, we're going to fold these pieces around and then bring it up and under. Then this piece here, take this, tuck that in, and this is going to come down and you kind of almost have to pull this away to kind of get it to go over the little lip section right there. But then you're going to come underneath here, give that a good little squeeze down. That'll kind of tab into place along the lower bit here. Not very well, honestly. Again, you got to kind of pull that out. Make sure that that is, there we go, like that. And then, like I said, that's going to collapse. There we go. Get that nice and flush with the inside piece right there. And the upper body is basically done. Now, coming down to the lower body, oh, I'm sorry, you come around here to this back section. Should have shown this. Get that out of the way. Collapse the landing gear. Then this is going to come around. That collapses down, and then that's going to tab in along his back. Coming down for the actual leg section, as you can see, the transformation is fairly simple on this guy. So we're going to bring this around. This piece right here is going to open up. You're going to take this section, rotate that down, and then tab that back in, and then separate that just like so, and then rotate his leg around. Let's see, there's the back. Rotate that like that, or no, yeah, out to the side like that. Keep that in there, and then on the underside here are the feet. Fold that out. Do that on this side as well. So we're going to bring that all the way down like that. Rotate there. Bring the foot out the bottom. Go ahead and set them down. Give yourself a little bit of stability. Make sure that the little tab sections there stay in. As you can see, you got the button right here, so that tends to make it fling out. But when you have it like that, then the last step really is to bring the camera up so that you can see. And literally all you do at this point in time is now rotate him at the waist like so. And then you just play with the actual positioning of the different limbs, specifically these arms and hands. Angle that, and when you're done, there you have the Ark in his robot mode. And you really do get a very imposing figure when you get this guy completely transformed. If you're familiar with any of the Titan figures, I'm just coming back here so that you can get a full look at this guy. You know what to expect really with. I mean, he is massive. Bringing in obviously mainframe here. Let's set him off to the side, and then a more common figure. Here we have Wheeljack. You're not seeing it right now. Here we have Optimus. Now I'll bring in another. I'm moving all over the place. Sorry. Let's bring in Bumblebee. Now, come back and you can see just how big this guy gets. Obviously, Titan class figure, so he is going to be very, very large. Definitely not the right size when you come down to it. He is way undersized when you compare the size of him to standard figures, but still a very imposing figure nonetheless. Now let me stabilize my camera a little bit. Overall detail is fantastic. You can see that his head sculpt looks wonderful. Now a lot of times people have talked about this guy, and let's see, can I go any higher? No, we're just gonna do the old hand thing again. The head here very much looks like the character known as the Last Autobot. You can see that he has a similar look. It also is very similar to the look of the Autobot logo. So, kind of makes sense, because the Last Autobot was what was kind of the inspiration of sorts. As the stories have progressed, he's the inspiration for what became the Autobot logo and everything. So, Great detail, as you can see, throughout the entire thing. Colors look good. I feel like I'm not doing this justice because of the setup that I chose to go with, but you know, it is what it is. But I mean, still very cool. Again, let me put this here. Let's get these guys out of the way, spin him around a little bit. Now, one thing that is a little unfortunate is he does have a very hollow check section. You can see right underneath there, just completely gapping. Now, obviously, if you left Teletran 1 inside there, you'd probably be better off. But, I mean, there's nothing really to do to kind of hide that. And I just pulled all of his stuff out here. So, get that back down. So, that is, unfortunately, what it is. But as I said, you know, it still does kind of display very nicely. The colors, I think, look really good on it. As I did talk about the back section, or, well, what is on his back section. This piece here is a slightly different color than the rest of them. It is weird. Not a big fan of it, but, you know, again, it is what it is. You do have the slightly hollow sections here in the legs. At least you do have those little bits that do kind of cover things up. It's not terrible right down there. You do have these bits here for the arms. Again, those I do like how they collapse in and out, kind of filling that in. I do wish that they did that, as I talked about with the leg area, but in general, I mean, I do really like the way that this guy turned out. Articulation-wise, he does have a swivel for the head, which is nice. Really good light piping there as well. You can come around, you can see the actual notch right there. So it does give some good yellow light, or yellow eyes, I should say, because of the light. Heavy-duty ratchet joints, as all these figures do, but I almost feel like that's a little bit too much, to be totally honest. You do have the ratchet joint going in and out. You do have a slight ratchet joint at the bicep. I do kind of wish that that was a little bit thicker looking as well, just because the overall aesthetic of them is very bulky. That's fairly thin. It's just a minor thing, but it's worth noting. You do have me hitting the camera. You do have the ratchets right there. You do have ratchets for the actual wrist itself. These are just on little swivel sections, so you can get a grasping pose. He does have a waist swivel, as you could see, because of the transformation. Hips here, again, heavy-duty ratchet joints in and out. You even have ratchet joints at the rotation section. The knees, ratchet joints. Then you come down here to the ankles, and those do have a little bit of pivot, not a lot, but okay, up there you can kind of see it going out a little bit, just to kind of help balance things a little bit for this guy. And I mean, honestly, I do really like him. I honestly don't think that I'm going to display him like this, just because I do like the whole ARK concept a little bit more. But this is still a really good robot mode, especially for something that we've never had before. Now, to transform him back, first I'm going to start with this guy, because I want to show you that you can put it in there and kind of fill this up. So we're going to separate this. Let's rotate his head around. This piece here is going to pull away like that, and that's going to hinge up. Oh, sorry, pull that up. Take his head, tuck that down to the back section, get that all the way down. There we go, and that's going to come all the way up, lock into place right there. First, we need to put his little hands away, just like that. Then we're going to bring these down. They're going to sit right here. You want to have that little whole section underneath here, so that can line up with it. So again, bring that down. These are going to kind of sit in the little side bits right there, and then just accordion these up, squeeze that together, squeeze that together, just like that. And here you have the whole Teletran thing. So again, we're going to lift this guy up like that, and then this is going to just slot right there. And then you can bring this down, and again, just kind of maneuver this. So as you can see, you can leave that in there if you want to, and that's where it does fill in the sides and everything a little bit more. So that does make things a little bit better, I think. And coming down to first, we're going to take a look at his legs and get those all situated. So first, we're going to rotate him here at the waist all the way around, and then kind of make sure that his legs are straightened out as best as possible. Coming on the bottom, I already had one under there, but you can take the other, tuck that up just like so. And then you're literally, this is going to be the front section now. Get these arms kind of lift it up and out of the way. Then you rotate here, and then accordion this up and in like that. Just kind of keeping that nice and flush. Again, rotate here, accordion that out, and then bring that all the way around. And you're going to bring these two halves together. Just so you can do it easier. There we go, something like that. So set that down. Now with these arms here, again, we're going to straighten out the hands. I'm going to spin it around here so you can see what I'm doing back here. Rotate the actual fist around so that the palm is down, and then rotate that up and in. Keep that straight, and that's going to sit right inside there. Do that on this side as well. So we're going to rotate the hand so the palm is facing down and angle this up and in. Come on, I'm going to fiddle with this. I want to make sure that this is completely locked in place, and I don't think that it is. There we go. Maybe that might be a little bit better. There we are. And then we can open this flap up here on this side and rotate this piece out. This kind of helps keep everything kind of squeezed together down in the bottom section of his legs, but it's not the best connection. So take this section here, lift this all the way up, and then you're going to take these arms and rotate these up, collapse like so, and then they're going to swivel out, rotate them around, and then bring them down, and they'll sit right along that side. Do that on this side as well. Accordion this all the way up. You can bring this in, rotate that, and then bring that down. That's going to sit flush like that. Bring this around. You're going to have these little tab sections that I was talking about here that will rotate up and in, locking in right there. This piece here flops around a lot. This little top bit right here, you're going to rotate this piece out and then spin these pieces down. And then this on the underside here, bring these little pieces out. And let's bring the camera up a little bit so you can see that a little bit better. Bring this out, bring that out, bring this out. This part does get a little bit annoying because these panels like popping off. So bring that up and out. Let's see, kind of like that. So let's see. They do detach fairly easily. They're just little mushroom things, so you can put that there. Then you're going to bring this down, and you can take these, bring this up. This is going to come around there, and this is going to just attach right back on this little thing. And when you're done, there you go. It's a pain in the booty. Overall, though, I really like what they did with this. Granted, it is not a perfect figure. Like I said, I really do wish they had a way to fill this in, and some of the connecting points aren't as solid as I would like. But it is cool to finally get something in terms of the Autobot Ark, at least officially. Now, some people don't like the fact that it actually transforms, but that really doesn't bother me all that much. I think it's a fun play on things. And I love the fact that they decided to take something like this and really make it work. You know, both by being the bridge of the Ark, also the character mainframe, and of course Teletran 1. I think it was done very, very well. Transformation is a little bit more simple than what we got with other Titan figures, but this is definitely one that I think that they could have kept simple. They didn't need to really do a ton for him. And then we get to a robot mode that still looks really very good. If he's meant to be the last Autobot, which he kind of does look like it at least fits and kind of makes sense why the Ark would have transformed into something like him. So this is definitely a figure that I would recommend adding to your collection. My biggest problem, though, is trying to figure out how I'm going to display it, because in robot mode he takes up considerably less retail. This guy in his Ark mode does kind of spread things out, so it's going to be tricky, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. As always, if you'd like to add this or any other Transformer figures to your collection, you can do so online by going to places like Big Bad Toy Store or Amazon. For both of those places, I'll put links
right down there in the video description, where you can go to both places and check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformer figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Once again, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I would really appreciate it if you would do one more thing for me, and that's just to hit that thumbs up button. Believe it or not, that one very small gesture really does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really very much appreciate it. I also have to send a huge shout out to all of my Optibotimus Plus channel members. Through their direct support, continue to help make reviews like this and many others possible. And if you'd like information on how you can help support my channel by becoming a channel member, where you can get exclusive channel chat and comment emojis, loyalty badges, early access to video reviews, exclusive unboxing videos, live streams, Zoom calls, giveaways, as well as access to the Optibotimus Plus only Discord like all these guys do, then please consider becoming a member of Optibotimus Plus. And for that, all you have to do is click on that little join button right down there. Finally, guys, remember that the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you all for watching and taking the time to be a kid.